Greetings, film fanatics. Filmholmes here, and welcome to another rendition of Too Many Movies. So my last two movie reviews, I've done two John Carpenter movies. One, which is a horror movie, but also John Carpenter movie. So we're going to get away from John Carpenter for at least one video and talk about a movie that I was so surprised how much I liked it, how much I loved it. A friend recommended it to me and we watched it, and from the very beginning of the movie, I was in love with it. And I was in love with it the entire damn time. And it's not a long movie, it's not even 80 minutes, but it is on Netflix. I highly recommend it, but I'm going to talk it up first. I'm talking about the movie from 2014. It's a found footage movie, which I'm not a huge fan of, but it's so damn good and original. But I'm talking about the movie Creep. Let's get into it. I had never heard of this movie before until my friend recommended it, and he had been kind of badgering me to watch it for a while. Again, I'm not huge on horror movies, but he highly recommend it, and he was so persistent, and thank God he was. And I'm not, like I said, it's a found footage type of movie. I mean, it's in a way, and I'm not big on that. But this is so clever and so original that you can't help but fall in love with it. But basically the story is there is a guy who does video stuff for a living. He's hired by this man to come out into this house in the woods to videotape him because the guy confesses he is dying of cancer. And he has a wife and an unborn child, and he wants to videotape himself. He wants him to follow around, videotape him, he'll pay him really well, for his son. But as the day progresses into night, you start to notice that the guy who wants to be videotaped is not really all there. And some very, very weird stuff happens. And it basically turns into the fact that the man is probably not who he says he is. That's as far into the plot as I'm going to go. And it's not ruining anything, you know, that's in the description anyway. But Creep it's so original it makes me mad. Like it makes me mad that I didn't, as a filmmaker, I didn't make it myself. Because it's all found footage. It's from the perspective of the guy filming it. The guy who was hired. And it's never stupid. It never doesn't make sense why he wouldn't have the camera on. I kept trying to find a moment where it's like, and every time it didn't make sense, they explained it. And it wasn't just a quick explanation, you know, of like, brush under the rug type of thing. It made sense. So right there, that pulled me into the movie, that they were clever enough to write it that well. And, you know, the characters, it's the only two characters really in it are, you know, the guy being videotaped and the guy videotaping. And there's this feeling of just uneasiness as it goes from like 10 minutes, 15, 20 to 30. You just want to know when the other shoe's going to drop. Like, what the fuck is this guy's problem? What's he going to do? Is he like a serial killer? Is he just weird? Like, you don't know where the movie is going. I certainly had no idea. And the guy starts to show his true behavior, and it's bizarre. But at the same time, you love the guy. He's annoying, but he's charming, and he's got the gift of gab in a way. He knows how to manipulate, and you kind of fall in love with him, even though you know deep down that he's a sick, sick man. And I give full credit to the guy who played him, who also directed it and I believe wrote it as well. Let me give the right credit here, get his name. Patrick Bryce is his name. Wait, is that... Nope, I'm sorry. Patrick Bryce is the guy he played... It was written by both the guys who starred in it. It was directed by Patrick Bryce. Mark Duplass, if I'm pronouncing that right. He's the one who played the weird guy. So I wanted to get that right. So... Oh, and I guess it was released last year in the U.S. It was released 2014 elsewhere. So, anyway, it's only been out for a little more than a year. But it has just got high praise, like 96% on Rotten Tomatoes. Audiences loved it. It wasn't like a huge hit. I don't think it played in theaters nationwide, but it definitely got attention, and rightfully so, because the dialogue is interesting, the characters are interesting, the situation is tense and uncomfortable, but it keeps you fixated on it. I had to pee within the first 10 minutes, and I held it until the credits rolled, because I was that fixated on my television screen watching it. And like I said, I watched it on Netflix, so if you have Netflix, find it and watch it. You will not regret it. And I will say it like this, this isn't really a horror movie. It's not at all, but horror to me, it's a huge genre. It's a lot of different films in that genre. But it's like a thriller type of thing. Or if there's an uncomfortable type of movie. Almost like a Blair Witch Project, except done well. Or Paranormal Activity, which was done well. At least the first one was. Like that kind of movie. It keeps building and building and building and building. But in this one, the story keeps building. It gets weirder and weirder and weirder. And to me, I had no idea where it was going. If the main character was going to survive. You know, if maybe we were mistaken about the guy that was being filmed. Maybe he wasn't this weird. Maybe he was just a lonely outcast. I've said too much. You know, it's like, I don't want to ruin it anymore. Because like I said, it's not even 80 minutes. It's not a long movie. But it's the perfect amount of time. To me, there's nothing else they could have put into this movie. But, I mean, these scenes, too, it's directed so well because sometimes these scenes, it does, like, quick edits. You know, when, like, he'll turn the camera off, which makes sense. But at the same time, some of these scenes go on for, like, 6, 7, 8 minutes. And it comes off as real. It never once came off as two actors. It came off as two real-life people. Like they were these real characters, and this was actually filmed. I don't know how they did it. They must have practiced this a million times for it to come off this naturally. So well done. So well done. I would like to know how many takes they did of each scene, or if they only did it once or maybe twice. Like, I would really like to know. I need to buy, if it's out on Blu-ray or DVD, I'd really like to buy it. I need to look it up, actually, and see the behind the scenes, because I'm very curious how they made this movie. Because there's really no crew. There couldn't be, because the way you're moving the camera, if there was a crew, they would have had to have been far away. But I don't think that was the case. I think possibly it was just these two guys filming this. That's awesome. That's filmmaking. That's independent filmmaking. That's guerrilla-style filmmaking, and I love it. And the film looks great. It's acted beautifully by the two actors. It's written really well. Some weird shit comes up, but totally original. The ending. I guess it was kind of a twist ending in a way, but not really. But it was a wonderful ending. And it pisses you off, but also like, oh, like, that's all I'll say. And I will also say as well, like this, they're doing a sequel. And I'm excited for the sequel. I would love to see what happens next. I really would. But I can't really say much more without giving too much away, but please go and see this movie. Please. Like, even though it's on Netflix, I will buy it and keep it in my collection. That's how damn good this is. So, Creep, I will give a 4.5 out of 5. Now, even though I love this movie, I think I need to see it a few more times to see if it deserves a rating of 5. And maybe that's unfair. I'll give 5s to some of my favorite directors and stuff, but I think right now, Creep, I'm just going to stick with a 4.5 out of 5. But I see this becoming a 5 out of 5 very, very quick. But for right now, until I watch it more, that's what I think. I can't find any flaws. I can't find one flaw. And the movie had me entranced all 80 minutes. It really did. So, you know, actually, fuck it. I'm not going with a 4.5 out of 5. So, go ahead and take that shit away, Mr. Editor. Me. Creep, I am going to give 5 out of 5. Because it is original, well written, well directed, well acted, well edited. It's nice to look at. It's not super long, it's not super short. It's about as perfect as, and it's the best found footage movie I've ever seen. Fuck it. 5 out of 5. Go and see this movie, especially during October, because it is creepy and it's just gonna get you all freaked out, and if you watch it by yourself in the dark at your place, it's gonna just get you really weirded out. It's a great movie for this time of year. But really, any time of the year, this would be a great movie to watch. So please, watch it on Netflix or go buy it. I can't wait for the sequel. So, that was Creep. Hope you enjoyed my review of it. As you can see, I got more movies I gotta watch. This was Too Many Movies. I'm Filmholmes, and I will see you in the next video. Later.